Good morning, Floss Tube. Happy Saturday. For those of you who don't know me, which would probably be most of you, my name is Colleen, and I haven't made a video in over a year. So I've recently started stitching again. I lost my stitchy bug. Lost it. It took a really, really long time to finally get it back. Lots of changes were going on in my life, and stitching was not even on the radar. So last year, my dad and my uncle decided to retire for real this time. My family is a family of farmers, so we've always had a farm business, and we had a farm stand that was open all year round, and they decided to get out of it, try to sell it, sell the land, some of the land, rent the business to someone else. Thankfully, they found someone else to take it. But anyway, it was my last year working for them, so trying to adjust to that was difficult, and then trying to decide what I was going to do with the quote-unquote rest of my life, because for the majority of my working life, I started working for my dad when I was about 10, me and my brother on the farm, and then transitioned into the store, and then from the store transitioned into the office, and that's where I've been for the last 20 or so years. I have had other jobs, but the bulk of my working history was working for my family, so that's kind of scary when you think about going out into the real world and getting a job. So there was that going on, and what ended up happening was my brother has his own business. He has a partner, and they have a construction business where they do all kinds of things. And when the job from my dad ended, the end of October, I had about 2 weeks, it was maybe 2 weeks, and my brother had said, do you think you might want to come and help the woman that works in my office? She needs help. So I said, sure, I'll go in. I will talk to her and see if there's anything I can do. I need my job to be flexible because I have a massage therapy business, a small part-time massage therapy business that I kind of still wanted to do, and he was more than okay with me being flexible, if I had a client and then going back to work, and it was going to work perfectly. So I was feeling pretty hopeful. So I went in and I talked to her, and everything, was doing okay, and I started probably a week before Thanksgiving. It was different hours, different job. It was overwhelming. But I felt like it was going to work. It would allow me to supplement my income. I wouldn't have to touch money in the bank that I saved to get me through while I worked on building up my business. And fast forward to about January, so I was there for, a couple of months, and she found out she has terminal cancer, kidney cancer, that is metastasized into her lungs, and that I was going to have to take over while she was having treatment. And I was already feeling overwhelmed, and then this made it worse. So I was basically just going through the motions, trying to not fall to pieces, and I gained about 20 pounds. It was really a really difficult time trying to hold it together while she was doing what she needed to do for her. But anyway, so lots of changes. It has since calmed down at the work front anyway. She's transitioning out, so I will probably take over the office. It's only a 1 or 2 person office, and I think I could probably do it myself. I don't think I'll need help, but we'll see. So anyway, I went from being a worker bee to being the queen bee, not necessarily wanting that, but it is what it is, and life could be worse, so I'm not going to complain. I have a job. I have a good job, and I'm still working my massage business, and I have an Etsy shop that I try to run as well, so, that's okay. Anyway, so I thought, I want to get back into stitching, but I just didn't have the desire. And all of last year, I think I was on a no buying, I had joined a group on Facebook, no buying, work from your stash, I think it was. So not that I buy a lot of stuff, but I think the addition of not being able to buy anything didn't help me. Because sometimes when you buy new patterns, they inspire you. And you might not stitch those right away, but you might stitch something else. But it gets you excited. And I didn't have that to look forward to. Like, I love buying new patterns. Just, who doesn't? So I wasn't doing that. So that was kind of sad. And then just, gradually I just got so far away from it. I picked up a different hobby, which I am obsessive. So when I do something, it's like tunnel vision. And I went full head, full bore into that hobby, which it's kind of weird to call it a hobby, but it is. I know that some of the floss tubers have talked about planners, and I got into that hobby. It's kind of like scrapbooking and planning at the same time, because you decorate a functional planner. I mean, the objective is to use it, not just to decorate it. That would just be a scrapbook. So yeah, so I got into that. So I was just like obsessed with all that stuff. So I had turned my back on cross stitching, but I still love cross stitching. But I wasn't watching FlossTube. When I was looking through my Instagram account, I was just kind of flipping through the pictures quickly because I didn't want to see them. It wasn't that I didn't want to see them, but I felt guilty because I wasn't stitching. And I love stitching. I love this hobby, and I wasn't doing it. And I felt guilty because I have all these charts, all this stuff, these projects, and I wasn't working on them. And finally, January rolled around, and I bought myself, I had some Christmas money, so I bought myself one of those big lights. It's a floor light, and it's upstairs, but it kind of comes over and then shines the light, and I'll put a link in my description box of where you can get it on Amazon if you're looking for such a light. But I love this light. It's got a clamp where you can put your pattern. It's got a magnifying glass, which I don't really use because, I don't know, I can't really see well. I don't know. They don't work for me. But anyway, I could see. No excuses. The winter time is kind of slow. I had time to stitch now, so I got myself a pattern, and I thought I was going to like it, and I didn't love it. I mean, it looked cute when I bought it, but sometimes, those small pictures online, and they look cute. I mean, it is a cute pattern. I left it upstairs, but it was, it's a monthly, you can do it as a calendar, so it's got all the different months, and you could stitch them. I suppose you could stitch them one at a time, but the example has them all. And I just love seasonal things. I love sets of things. I love series. I love all that kind of stuff. So that's what I was going to do. So I stitched up the first one, which would have been January. And then that would have been when the woman I worked with got diagnosed and everything fell apart. So I stopped stitching because I could barely get one foot in front of the other at that point. I was just really having a hard time with all of the changes that were going on. And I was just feeling miserable. I was just miserable. I had gained weight, like I said, so I was all around not in a happy place at all. So I stopped stitching. Because if you don't love the pattern you're working on, you're like, eh. And at that time, that was really the only thing I had going. So I just stopped. And then I would say maybe April-ish, I decided I was going to start stitching again. And I picked up a new pattern, one of the many that I have. And it was the Country Cottage Needleworks ABC Sampler, which I didn't bring downstairs. But I don't collect fabric, so I don't have a lot of fabric on hand. But when you want to stitch something, you want to start now, so you make do with what you have. So I got all the flosses, which I think I had most of them anyway, and I had fabric. So I started. Well, it's white fabric. Normally I like white fabric. I did not do a floss toss because why would I? I just don't usually do that. I'm going to have to start. But I started stitching, and the design is a cottage, and then there's a white picket fence along the bottom. So I thought, oh, the white on white is just not going to work. It's just not. And it was 14 count Aida, and I've decided I don't like 14 count Aida. Not that I have experience stitching on smaller counts, but I was just not happy. I didn't like the fabric. I just was not happy. So I tossed it aside. I found some antique white, and I thought, well, you know, that's a little bit of a different shade, so I should be able to be okay with that. Again, did I do a floss toss? No, of course I didn't. No, I did not. So maybe because I didn't want the answer, because I knew it wasn't going to work. But because I had already started the project on the right-hand side, I wasn't going to start it again on the right-hand side because I don't like to stitch things twice, and I'd already stitched that part, and I felt like if I start over and I restitch the same thing I just stitched, no, not going to happen. So I went to the left side. So I did the whole house, the little cottage house. And I got to the portion of the picket fence, the white picket fence, and I was going to have the same problem. I did it, and I thought, I still can't see it. It's better than the white, but it's not enough. And I thought, well, I could change the color of the fence, but, I mean, let's be real. A picket fence is supposed to be white, at least in my world. Whether it's my real world or my pretend world, my picket fence is white. So that wasn't going to happen. So I ditched that project. I was really peeved. So I thought, no, just forget about it. The model called for lamb's wool, linen. I think it was like a 36 count, I think. So I bought a piece of fabric, which I should have brought downstairs, and I didn't. But it's 18 count lamb's wool witchelt. Is that the name? I want to call them witchlet. I know that's not the name of the company, but that's what I want to call them for some reason. Witchelt. And I got this fabric, and I don't know. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna try it and see what it looks like. But I don't know. It feels kind of burlappy. I don't have a lot of experience with linen, and maybe because it's a bigger count, 18 count as opposed to like a 36. So I'm not sure, but I'm willing to give it a try. I can't do like a 36. I can do like a 28 even weave, which I've started to transition to, but my eyesight just does not allow me to do the 40 count. Holy cow! God bless you, because I can't do that. So anyway, I ditched that. The other project I was working on was needleworker. This one that everybody and their brother has done. So I started working on that. Well, I had fabric. It was, I actually liked the fabric quite a bit. And it was a nice piece. It was a rectangle, because that's a rectangular piece. And I put it on my Q-snap, and I started, and I was alternating between the two projects. So one day I would work on one, the next day I would work on the other. I had a nice little rhythm going. And then for some reason I took it out of the Q-snap, thank God. I took it out of the Q-snap, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that doesn't look long enough. Got out my tape measure, measured it, and when I put it in the Q-snap, I switched it. So I was working on the short side rather than the long side. How frustrating is that? So I had two choices. I could frog it and start over, or I could get another piece of fabric and start over. There was no alternative other than starting over one way or the other. So I threw that one in a timeout. I was just, go away. Put that one in a timeout. Bought some new fabric. Got an 18 count fiddler's cloth. I think it is in oatmeal. So, and it took me a good 3 weeks before I could start that again, because I was so annoyed. And then in the meantime, oh, I forgot to add, in the meantime, I had had some health issues where I didn't realize that I was sick. Thought I had symptoms. I had some discomfort in my chest after I was exercising and exerting myself, and but it would go away, and I really just thought, well, I'm out of shape, which I am, and that's what's causing it. Well, it got progressively worse until the point where I had to go to the emergency room, and ended up being diagnosed they sent me to Boston and did a heart catheterization, and I ended up having a 90% blockage in one of my main arteries in my heart. I know, right? So they put a stent in. So I have a stent in my heart now, and I'm on a bunch of meds, hopefully. And it's so funny because I had finally changed my eating habits. I had given up sugar 2 months. I lost like 23 pounds and was feeling good, but I wasn't feeling good, if that makes sense. So now I'm feeling better. I'm getting back to exercising, but now, because I was in the hospital for 5 days and they pumped me full of crap food, sugar and carbs and all that stuff, and I had given them up and I had gotten rid of all the cravings, and now I'm struggling again. So I have to really get back to basics to get off the sugar, because for me, I'm addicted to sugar. It's just an insidious substance. But anyway, so I restarted needleworker. So I will show you how far I've gotten so far on this one. That is my needle minder. Love that needle minder. So I'm working on that. And something that I have started, which I did not realize would be as awesome as it is I finally got that Goodreader app. What a game changer. I have the ability to take my patterns to work with me and scan them and turn them into PDFs and then just mail them to myself and download it into the Goodreader app. So I have turned that pattern into a PDF, and then I can use the highlighter and mark everything off. One of the things that I've noticed about me in stitching, and I don't know if this is an age thing or what the heck is going on, but I lose my place all the time. I am constantly searching for my spot, and that is so annoying. So I would spend more time searching for my spot than I spent stitching. So I couldn't stitch for long periods of time because I would just get, I don't know, irritated, annoyed, bored. So I would stitch for maybe 30 minutes at a shot, and that would be about it. So I've decided that I'm going to try to convert as many patterns as I can so that I can, keep my place. And I stitched for an hour yesterday. I enjoyed every minute of it. I actually got quite a bit done. I finished the R and started on the K, and I thought, this is awesome. I did make a mistake, so I had to frog it because I wasn't paying attention. But otherwise, yeah, it's a game changer. So if you don't use Goodreader, give it a shot if you think you might like working on, keeping your place. I've started working on that with that, and it's just awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. So, that project, Needleworker, I work on during the week, Monday through Friday. So I'm trying to get 30 minutes on in the afternoon. My other project, I've decided that new month, new start. So I am one of those people that doesn't have a lot of whips going, but I would like to maybe have a few more than what I've had, which was one. So I'm trying. I don't think I could have like 60 some projects going, or even 30. I would probably start twitching. But new month, new start. So I've picked up the series from Stony Creek, Home of the Month. I love houses. I love series. I love seasonal things. So I'm going to start the July Home of the Month. I don't love this pattern. Let me just say that. I don't love it. I like the other ones a lot, but this is probably going to be my least favorite, but I got to do them all. So this one, I just started a little bit. It's just like a little bit of line there. I'm going to work on it today. What ended up happening was I put as many flosses in my cross-stitch app. I was trying to inventory all my floss, and I went through my list and I pulled all the flosses that I said that I had. So I tried to kit this up, and I didn't have like a half a dozen of them that I said I had. And I looked everywhere, so I don't know what I was smoking when I took the inventory, but I thought my cat was there. Didn't have them. So I had to go to Joann's this morning and pick up a handful of floss. So those two are the projects that I work on Monday through Friday, 30 minutes each, trying to get that done. Working on those. I don't have any time frame. They're for myself, so it's not like, I don't really stitch for other people. Having said that, I am stitching for someone else. I'm making this for my son. My son loves his computer games, and when he was 7, he got his first video game, and it was Super Mario. So this is a special character for him, and he has collected Mario. It was a free pattern that I found online somewhere, and it only has like a handful of colors, and I was out of 2 of them. I didn't have to, so I had to pick that up today as well. So hopefully I will finish that maybe next week. I only stitch on this for 15 minutes in the morning before I put my contacts in. Once my contacts are in, my eyesight is compromised and I can't really see very well. So I stitch a little bit before I go to work, and then when I come home I take my contacts out, and then I stitch for my time in between my chores. Weekends. I'm working on a project for my boyfriend for Christmas. Again, I don't tell people I'm giving them gifts, because in case something goes sideways and I don't do it, they don't know. What they don't know doesn't hurt them. My boyfriend loves Lord of the Rings. He loves LARPing, which is live action role playing. They run through the woods and pretend they're orcs, and yeah, okay. I had no idea what this stuff was. We've been together 16 years. So he's trying to explain this to me when we first started dating. I was like, I don't get it. I just don't. It took me a really long time before I understood what the heck he was talking about. But now I understand. It's not my thing, but he loves it. So he also plays like tabletop role-playing games as well. Not Dungeons and Dragons, but that's the kind of game it is. He plays Warhammer, I think. He plays all different kinds, but he has a game room where all of his stuff is. So I thought, I'm going to do something from Lord of the Rings, and it's going to be something simple. I'm a notoriously slow stitcher. So I looked through Etsy, and I came up with, it's called the Hobbit Menu, and if I can, I will insert a picture of it. I don't have a picture only because it's a digital pattern, but I started that. So this is how far I've got on that. Today, underneath it, dinner. And I think I forget what it says, but this is 28 count linen something. I don't know. I got it off of Etsy, I believe. But it's okay. I'm having an okay time. I'm practicing my 2/2 because I don't have a lot of experience with that. So I think I'm doing okay. It looks pretty good. There's my needle minder. Gina's Unique Boutiques, I believe I got that one from. I don't have a lot of needle minders because I just don't. So I'm working on this only on Saturday and Sunday. So I tried to do 1 line, and that's kind of like a mini finish. So I have plenty of time till Christmas, and I want to have that framed. So there's that. So that's on the weekends. And then I have Green Goddess from Joan Elliott, and she is so beautiful. I can almost not stand it, but I have been oh god, it's so beautiful. It's just gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. Sometimes they're just like so beautiful they're painful. So this is where I am on her. I finished this little square last night. I'm trying to do it in 10 by 10s, 10 by 10 squares. So I'm going to try to work on her and get this row finished today, if I can. I have resisted. I had started stitching again, and I still wouldn't pick her up. And I'm not really sure why. Oh, there's my needle minder. It's a little beehive. I love beehives. I don't know why, I just do. So I put, I couldn't stitch on her. It took me, last night, I finally told myself, pick it up. I haven't picked it up in over a year. I don't even remember where I was. I don't, you know, you have to reacquaint yourself with something if you haven't worked on it for a long time. And I picked her up and I stitched for a little bit on it. And I thought, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to, I've missed her. I'm ready to get back into it. And I have my working copy and I marked off where I was. And I can turn it into a PDF if I want. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe that will make it easier for me. I don't really know. But that is my intention to maybe, she was going to be a gift for my best friend. I don't know. I don't know. She's too pretty. I don't know. She's gorgeous and I won't stitch anything twice. So if I stitch this and give it away, I'll never be able to have it and see it, you know, unless I go over there. But I don't know. That's probably not. I'm probably a bad friend, but I don't know. So anyway, those are my current whips. That's what I'm working on right now. So hopefully I will make some progress and be able to have something to show next time. So I thought I would do the Know Your Needleworker tag because this is kind of like a reboot. So I thought I would, for anyone who's finding me for the first time or getting reacquainted with me, I thought I would do the Know Your Needleworker tag. So, where do you live? I live in Massachusetts. For those of you outside of the United States, I live in the United States, Massachusetts, which is on the East Coast, one of the New England states. And I live about an hour south of Boston in a small town called North Dighton. And I've lived here basically my whole life, other than for 3 years when I moved, when my parents got divorced. Otherwise, I've been here in this house my entire life. What do you do for a living? I am primarily an office person. I work bookkeeper type of thing, self-taught, didn't go to school for it, just kind of picked it up along the way. Had basic accounting in high school, but that was about it. And learned that so that I could do the office work for my family's business. And then I also went to massage school and got licensed for massage therapy. So I am a massage therapist. I have a small massage therapy business in my house. And then I also have an Etsy shop, the Calico Bear. And I sell pens, pencils, washi tape, pencil cases, cute things, cute stationery. That's another hobby of mine, which we will get to. Children. I have one son. His name is Corey. He just turned 20. And I can't believe that I have a 20-year-old son, but I do. Pets. I have 4 cats. And personally, I live with my mom and my son. And we have 4 cats. One of the cats, her name is Madison. I'm surprised she's not here. Usually she's on my lap. But I'm sure she'll show up at some point in one of these videos. Her name is Madison. She's my cat. She's attached herself to me. My mother has a cat named Dusty, who is attached to her. We have another cat named Missy. She just loves everybody who will give her attention. And then we have a 4th cat. His name is Pesky. I call him Piglet. He was just a feral cat. He was a baby. He just showed up in the yard. We took him in. And he's not a people cat. He's shy, he's timid, he's docile, he's not aggressive at all. He's really a sweet cat, but he just does not like people. He tolerates us, you know, he allows us to feed him and take care of him, but he doesn't want to be petted. He's not a lap cat. The other cats that we have are lap cats. And he's the only boy. The other are 3 females. But like I said, he's just a nice cat, but he's just not a people cat. You can touch him. He'll let you touch him. But and he weighs like 25 pounds. He's huge. So you can't even pick him up. But he's, yeah. He always watches you. Like, he doesn't trust you. He's... My animals are spoiled, okay? He's got nothing to fear at all. But he'll just, like, you know... He's always got his back... He's always in a position where he can watch you. So, other hobbies. I read. I What else do I do? I do latch hook rugs. I like puzzles. I don't actually do them. I have them. I like them. I love the idea of doing them, but then when I sit down and do them, I don't have the attention span for it, apparently. And then last year, or a couple years ago, I would say a couple years ago, I picked up one of those Erin Condren planners, and I started getting into the planner community, which is apparently a huge deal. I did not know until I got in. I stumbled upon that on YouTube, and I got interested in that. But I have heard Wonderfully Hopeless talk about her Happy Planner, so I do have a Happy Planner. It's a glare. Last year I had an Erin Condren. This year I decided to go with the Happy Planner. It's okay. I don't know. Well, next year I think I'm just going to go with like a Filofax or something. I love the idea of being able to take my stuff out, but I like the idea that it's a functional hobby. So you can use the planner, but then you can also decorate the planner. So this was my 4th of July spread. I make my own stickers. I have a silhouette machine that cuts the stickers, and that's a whole other community all in itself too. There are so many sticker shops on Etsy. Holy cow. So I decided not to go that route because everybody and their uncle was doing it. And I thought, well, I'm going to sell the pens. I'm going to do the pens and the cute stationery, post-it notes, stuff like that. So that's what I sell in my shop. But anyway, my planner, I love the idea of being organized. I try to be organized. I like paper. I like list making, all that stuff. So planners are kind of just an extension of that. And it allows you to be creative, which I enjoy. So, and I don't really scrapbook. So it's kind of like scrapbooking, but I can look back on it and say, oh, this is what I was doing this time last year. Sometimes I'll add in ticket stubs or, special plans or things like that. So it's kind of like a scrapbook of where you are in life, and, I like it. Favorite movie. Favorite movie is probably going to be one that you may not have ever heard of. I actually have two. It is The Mirror Has Two Faces with Barbara Streisand and Jeff Bridges. I think that's his name. Love that movie. Love it, love it, love it. It's one of my favorites. And As Good as It Gets with Jack Nichols. Is that his name? I want to call him Nicholson. I don't think that's his name. I think it's Jack Nichols. Nichols? I don't know. What is his name? You know who I mean. That guy. And that is an awesome, and Greg Kinnear. And the girl from Mad About You. That was ages ago. But that's a great, great movie. Love those two movies. So I don't really have a favorite amongst those. Harry Potter. Love the Harry Potters. Dirty Dancing, someone mentioned. That's a great movie too. I mean, there's a lot of really good movies. But those are probably two of my favorites. Bridges of Madison County, that's a good one too. The Notebook. Oh, yeah. Okay. TV shows. My TV shows that I watch Blacklist, Salem, Reign, the originals, Supernatural, CSIs, which I think they're all gone, Law and Order. I watched Wayward Pines last year. That was really good. I like Broadchurch. If you get Netflix, Longmire, watch that. I like that. I love anything to do with mysteries. I like horror. Not so much horror. When I was younger, I liked horror movies, but then I kind of drifted into mysteries. I love, 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 love mysteries. My favorite television show, by far, is Midsummer Murders, which is a British television show. There's like season 18 just got released on Acorn, which is a British television site that I belong to. And that's my cat. Come on. Come on. Yes, I know. This is Madison. She likes to sit on my lap when I'm here. I know. And so that's my favorite television show I could watch. If I was stranded on a desert island, I could have, a portable DVD player and Midsummer Murders and be happy. Just love that show. absolutely my favorite, hands down. Love British TV. They just do, and I hate to be a snob, but they just do a better job. Boyfriend texted me, so I forgot where I was. Books. I started out when I was younger, loved horror books, horror stories. Anything to Amityville Horror, Exorcist, scared the crap out of me. I was too young to see them in the movie theater, but I was able to read the books, and they just scared the bejesus out of me. And I love that. So I started reading John Saul in middle school. I remember trying to do a book report on Suffer the Children. That was the name of it. And the teacher's like, yeah, no. I was like, why? No. So Dean Koontz, Stephen King, all of the creepy authors. And then as I got older, I kind of transitioned into Agatha Christie. She's my favorite author. I love Agatha Christie. I love Miss Marple, Poirot, Sherlock Holmes. I just love and adore mysteries. And then I discovered this thing called cozy mysteries, which are the mysteries kind of like Midsummer, kind of like Murder, She Wrote, the cozy little village and, that kind of stuff, and like Where I Want to Live, minus all the murders. But I started reading those. There's a whole genre of those. I didn't know. So Joanne Fluke, and she's doing, I like the ABC Murders too by Sue Grafton as well. I haven't finished those. I forgot where I left off. I also like Bones, which is Kathy Reich, I believe. Temperance, which is what the show is based on. She actually writes books, and I've listened to a lot of those on Audible audiobooks that I enjoy. So that's where I am. I like the Harry Potters and adult. I'm also a fan of the adult book every once in a while, kind of like 50 Shades, but better. Music, love 80s. Late 80s rock. That was my time. That's when I was in high school. Graduated in '84, so Def Leppard, favorite band. Love them. And still love all that music. Got into some country in the early 90s. Like that stuff too. Kind of like pop. Taylor Swift, One Direction every once in a while. I even like an occasional Justin Bieber, although I only like that one song that he had. But I don't listen to a lot of music. I listen to talk radio. I actually listen to sports radio when I'm in the car. I know. How weird is that? One word to describe me. I am opinionated. More so than I should be. And I'm trying to... My cat is biting me. Stop it. No. What do you mean? I am probably more opinionated than I should be. And I'm trying to keep it to myself. Because I have a tendency to be very black or white. I think that's a Virgo thing. That is my pattern. You're a vicious beast. I'm a little bit more opinionated than I probably should be. And I'm trying to be cognizant of other people's opinions that might not be the same as mine. And it doesn't mean they're bad people. Sometimes I think that. So, anyway. That's an update on me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to try to do maybe a couple of videos a month and just to update on my progress. I find that it helps me to stitch because it gives me something to look forward to, and I want to show progress, so I want to stitch and share with everybody. I love being part of this community, and I appreciate all the videos, and I love watching everyone's videos, and I love long videos. Okay, I love long videos. The videos that are like an hour, 45 minutes, I'm excited. I love long videos. So if you're worried about having long videos, don't on my account. I just love them all. So have a great week, and I'll probably see you again, hopefully, maybe towards the middle of the month or the end of the month. I'm not sure. I don't have a set schedule. Maybe I can try to come up with that. I do have a small haul coming on Monday, hopefully from 123 Stitch, so I'll save that for next time. It's just fabric and some special threads. specialty threads, but I will share what I have and hopefully have more things to show. So have a great weekend, great week, and I will see you next time. Thanks.